where we break down the hidden dynamics of attraction power and human psychology so you can navigate any situation with confidence. Now let's get real for a second. When it comes to attraction, words are only half the story. The real truth, it's hidden in the subtle behaviors, the unspoken glances, the small moments that most men completely overlook. And when it comes to a married woman, things get even more complicated. See, she's not going to come right out and say, she's emotionally attached to you, she has a life, a relationship, and in many cases responsibilities she can't just walk away from. So instead, she'll communicate why married women form secret attachments in other ways that are, sign number one, easy to miss if you don't know what to look for. Have you ever been around a woman who seems to be just a little too engaged when she talks to you? Maybe she remembers things about you that no one else does. Maybe she lingers a little longer than necessary when you're in the same room. Maybe there's something in her eyes, a certain kind of attention, a certain kind of pull that you can't quite put into words. That's because attraction and attachment are never just about what's said, they're about what's felt. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. 5 undeniable signs that a married woman is secretly attached to you. These signs are subtle, but once you recognize them, they'll become impossible to ignore. But before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Extreme, and drop a comment below. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that unspoken connection with someone who was already in a committed relationship? Let's discuss now. Let's get into it. Sign number 1, she finds reasons to be around you constantly. One of the biggest signs that a married woman is secretly attached to you is her desire to be near you, whether she admits it or not. Attraction, especially the kind she doesn't want to openly acknowledge, manifests through proximity. The more someone is emotionally drawn to you, the more they sign. Number 2 will find ways consciously or subconsciously to be in your space. But here's the thing, she's not going to make it obvious. Unlike a single woman who can freely pursue you, a married woman has signed number 1, emotional dependency, more to consider her commitments, her image, and the boundaries she's supposed to maintain. So instead of directly saying, I just want to be near you, she'll find subtle, almost innocent-seeming reasons to be around you. It might look like this. She accidentally bumps into you more often. You start noticing that she's in the same places as you. Maybe she suddenly shares your coffee shop or routine. Maybe she just happens to be at the gym at the same time as you. Or maybe she unexpectedly shows up at an event where she knows you'll be. She aligns her schedule with yours. If you work together, she might time her breaks to match yours. If you're in a social group, she might start arriving when you arrive or leaving when you leave. These shifts may seem minor, but they add up. She prolongs conversations unnecessary. Lily ever had those moments where a chat should be over, but she keeps it going? Maybe she keeps asking follow-up questions, brings up new topics, or even rehashes things just to stretch out the interaction. She needs your help with things she could easily handle herself. Whether it's asking for advice, seeking assistance with something simple, or acting unsure about things, she's perfectly capable of managing. She's looking for an excuse to engage with you. Sign number 3, she initiates contact in subtle ways. She might be the one to send you messages first, whether it's about something trivial or just a casual check-in, or maybe she forgets something around you, so she has to come back and retrieve it later. The key here is that none of these interactions are necessary. Sign number 2, unusual attention prioritization. If you disappeared for a few days, her life wouldn't fall apart yet. She still keeps finding ways, however small, to create moments with you. Why? Because when a woman is emotionally attached, she craves presence. Even if she can't openly express her feelings, she'll still want to feel connected to you in whatever way she can, and the stronger the attachment, the more she'll bend reality, with whether through timing, location, or conversation, to make sure she gets more of you. So if you notice a married woman consistently placing herself in your orbit, pay attention, because chances are she's doing it on purpose, even if she doesn't fully realize why. Sign up to. She remembers the smallest details about you. One of the clearest signs that her married woman is secretly attached to you is her uncanny ability to remember even the tiniest detail, details about your life, things most people would forget in an instant. Why? Because when a woman is emotionally drawn to someone, her brain naturally locks onto information about them. It's not something she has to force. It just happens. She absorbs details about you without even realizing it, because to her, those details matter. Think about it. Most people go through conversations on autopilot. They'll ask you how your day was, nod politely at your answer, and forget the entire exchange 5 minutes later. But when a woman is secretly attached to you, it's different. She's fully present. When she talks to you, she's engaged. She's storing. Sign number 3, body language cues, information about you. Not because she has to, but because you genuinely interest her. Here's how this plays out in real life. She recalls things you sign, Shark 4 mentioned in passing. Maybe you casually told her about a childhood memory, a specific goal you're working on, or even your favorite type of coffee days, or even weeks later, she brings it up, proving she was actually listening. She notices changes about you before anyone else. Did you get a new haircut? Change your cologne? Wear a different style of clothing? A woman who's secretly attached will pick up on these things immediately and might even comment on them in a way that sounds casual but carries deeper meaning. She remembers your schedule and habits. If she knows what days you go to the gym, what time you usually grab lunch, or what projects you're working on, without you ever explicitly telling her, she's paying extra attention. She brings up old conversations that you don't even remember. You might have made an offhand joke weeks ago, and suddenly she references it at the perfect moment, reminding you that she didn't just hear you, she retained what you said. But here's the real key. She remembers things about you even when she has no reason to. She's married. She has a whole life outside of you. Yet your details stick in her mind. That's because whether she wants to admit it or not, she's emotion. Ali invested now. Contrast this with the way people usually interact. Most conversations are surface level. People forget names, they forget birthdays, they forget entire discussions that happened just days ago, but not her. Because for sign number 4, subtle flirting and testing. Sign number 5, boundaries. You're not just another person in the crowd. You're someone she's secretly attached to, someone her mind refuses to let go of, no matter how hard she tries. Sign number 3, her body language gives her away. If there's one thing people struggle to control, it's body language. A married woman might be able to control her words, act composed, and pretend everything is normal, but her body will always tell the truth when someone is emotionally attached to you. Their body naturally reacts in ways that are almost impossible to suppress. And that's why reading her body language is one of the most powerful ways to know if she's secretly drawn to you. See, attraction isn't just about what someone says. It's about how they act when they're in your presence. So, what are the unconscious signs that a married woman is attached to you? 1, she faces you fully, even in group settings. When a woman is emotionally invested, she subconsciously orients her body toward you if you're in a group. She angles her body toward you instead of the person speaking. If she's sitting near you, she leans in slightly, even if it's just a little. If she crosses her legs, they're often pointed in your direction. These are all subtle ways her body is gravitating toward you, even if she isn't fully aware of it. 2, she finds ways to be physically close to you. She might stand a little too close when final thoughts you're talking. Maybe she doesn't move away when your arms brush, or perhaps, sign number 5, deep, personal conversations, when there's an opportunity to sit next to you. She takes it every time. This isn't random. This is her way of closing the gap between you 3. She mirrors your movements. Mirroring is one of the biggest subconscious signals of emotional connection. When someone is deeply engaged with you, their body starts mimicking yours. If you take a sip of your drink, she does the same. If you shift positions, she follows suit without thinking. If you smile, laugh, or adjust your posture, she instinctively mirrors your energy. This is her body's way of creating unspoken synchronization between you four. She can't help but play with her hair or accessories when a woman is emotionally attached and feeling nervous. Excitement, her hands need something to do. She plays with her hair, twisting, tucking, or running her fingers through it. She fiddles with her necklace, rings, or bracelet. She adjusts her clothing, smoothing her dress, fixing her sleeves, or lightly touching her color. These small movements are often subconscious releases of nervous energy, a clear sign that she's feeling something in your presence. 5. Her eyes tell you everything they say. The eyes are the window to the soul. And that couldn't be more true here. A woman who's secretly attached will final thoughts, struggle to hide her emotions. When she looks at you, she holds eye contact just a little too long enough to feel something. When you catch her looking at you, she quickly looks away. She checks you out when she thinks you aren't paying attention. Her eyes might reveal excitement, curiosity, or even nervousness. But one thing is for sure, she's looking at you in a way that goes beyond casual interest. Her body speaks louder than her words. The most important thing to understand is that body language is automatic, unlike words, which can be carefully chosen. Her body's reactions are raw and unfiltered. If a married woman is secretly attached to you, her body will give her away, no matter how much she tries to hide it. Sign F4. She opens up to you in a way she doesn't with others. When a married woman is secretly attached to you, she won't just treat you like everyone else. Instead, she'll slowly start to break down her walls, revealing parts of herself that she doesn't typically share with others. See, most people operate on different levels of emotional openness with acquaintances. Conversation stays surface level, small talk, polite exchanges, and nothing too personal with friends. The walls drop a little, but there are still labor with someone she feels deeply connected to. That's where the emotional floodgates start to open. If you notice a married woman revealing her inner world to you, it's a major sign that she feels something deeper than just casual interest. One, she shares personal struggles and emotions. A woman who's emotionally invested in you will start sharing things she normally keeps private. This could be her frustrations in life, work, or even her marriage, her fears, insecurities, or moments of self-doubt, past experiences that shaped who she is today. If she starts confiding in you about things that are deeply personal, it means she sees you as someone she can trust on a different level. 2. She talks about her marriage in a way that feels different. This is a big one. If a married woman is emotionally attached to you, she might start opening up about her marriage in ways she wouldn't with just anyone she hints at. Feeling unfulfilled or emotionally disconnected, she compares you to her husband, even if it's subtle. She expresses how much she enjoys talking to you because it feels different now. She might not come right out and say it, but if she starts leaning on you emotionally in ways that go beyond friendship, it's a sign she's developing a deeper attachment. 3. She shares secrets she hasn't told anyone else. If a woman tells you, "I've never told anyone this before," pay attention. When someone is emotionally drawn to you, they start feeling safe enough to be completely themselves. They want to let you in. They want you to see the real them, the thoughts, feelings, and stories that they don't reveal to just anyone. She might share dreams she gave up on, or ones she still hopes to chase. She might tell you about a side of herself that no one really sees. She might reveal a regret, a hidden passion, or an unspoken desire. And here's the kicker: she won't even know why she's telling you. Attraction isn't just physical, it's emotional. And when a woman is attached to you, she wants you to understand her on a level that no one else does. For she asks you deep, thoughtful questions. She's not just making small talk with you, she's genuinely curious about your mind, your past, and your future. She asks, what's something you've never told anyone before? If you could redo one moment in your life, what would it be? What's your biggest fear? What's your happiest memory? She doesn't just want to pass the time with you, she wants to connect. 5. She talks about what if scenarios. Ever had a married woman casually say something like, if I had met you years ago, I think we would have been close if things were different. Who knows what could have happened? I wonder what my life would be like if ID made different choices. These what of statements are subtle, but they reveal a deeper truth. She's thinking about an alternate reality where you and she could have been something more. The bottom line, emotional intimacy is hard to fake. A woman can be friendly with a lot of people, but emotional intimacy, that's reserved for someone she feels deeply connected to. If a married woman starts opening up to you in a way that she doesn't with others, it's because she sees you as someone different, someone she trusts, someone she feels something for, whether she admits it or not. Sign the 5, she shows signs of jealousy, even if she hides it. Jealousy is one of the biggest giveaways of hidden emotional attachment. Even if a married woman tries to play it cool, her subconscious reactions will reveal what she is really feeling. See, when a woman feels emotionally drawn to you, she starts seeing you differently. You're no longer just a casual acquaintance or a friend, you're someone special. And when a woman feels that kind of connection, she can't help but feel a little territorial, even if she won't admit it outright. But because she's married, she might try to mask her jealousy, playing it off like it's nothing. However, if you pay close attention, you'll start noticing the subtle and not so subtle ways. Her emotions slip through one, her mood shifts. When you mention another woman, this is one of the most obvious signs. If you bring up another woman, whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even someone you're interested in, watch how she reacts. Does her tone change? Does she suddenly seem uninterested in the conversation? Does she make a sarcastic remark or subtly downplay the other woman? Even if she tries to hide it, there will be a shift. She might not openly say, I don't like hearing about her, but her energy will tell you everything. She might respond with something dismissive like, oh, she seems nice, but her tone is flat. Oh, really? So you're into that type? Said, with a hint of attitude. H, interesting, and then she changes the subject. These are subtle signs of jealousy, even if she won't admit that it bothers her too. She becomes more competitive for your attention. When a woman is secretly attached to you, she doesn't want to feel like she's losing you to someone else. So if she senses another woman in your orbit, she might step up her game. She suddenly becomes more engaging and playful. When you're around, she finds more reasons to be in your space, even if she wasn't as obvious about it before she starts reminding you of your connection. Whether through inside jokes, personal conversations, or shared memories, she won't come right out and say, I don't want you paying attention to someone else, but her actions will show that she doesn't want to fade into the background. 3, she makes snarky or playful remarks about other women. If a married woman is emotionally invested in you, she might throw out sarcastic or teasing remarks about other women in your life. For example, if you're talking about a female coworker, she might say, oh, so she's your new favorite now. If you mention a woman you find attractive, she might reply, wow, I didn't know you had such basic taste. If another woman gives you attention, she might jokingly say, oh, looks like you've got options. These comments might seem playful or harmless, but deep down they reveal a touch of jealousy. She doesn't want to seem possessive, so she disguises it as a joke. But the fact that she's bringing it up at all, that's the real clue. For she checks out your interactions with other women. When you're talking to another woman, watch where her attention goes. Does she glance over frequently? Does she seem distracted or suddenly quiet? Does she join the conversation out of nowhere? Even if she's across the room, she'll be watching. She might not even realize she's doing it. but her subconscious curiosity will keep pulling her focus back to you. And if she feels like giving another woman too much attention, she might suddenly act distant, cold, or even a little irritated, even if nothing else in the situation has changed. 5. She brings up other women just to see how you react. This is a more strategic move. If a married woman is emotionally attached to you, she might test the waters by bringing up other women just to gauge your response. She might casually ask, "So are you seeing anyone?" She could mention an attractive woman just to see if you react with interest. She might ask what your type is and then subtly compare herself to it. At first glance, this might seem like innocent curiosity, but in reality, she's fishing for information. She wants to know if has a special place in your mind or if she's just one of many. Jealousy is a window into her true feelings. At the end of the day, jealousy is an emotional response that's hard to fake. A married woman might try to hide or downplay it, but if she's attached to you, her subconscious reactions will give her away. She might not say it out loud, but her body language will change. She might brush it off, but her energy will shift. She might pretend it doesn't bother her, but her actions will tell another story. If she shows signs of jealousy, no matter how small or subtle, it means she feels something real, and that emotional attachment, it's stronger than she wants to admit. Final takeaway: recognizing the signs of emotional attachment. Emotional attachment is a powerful force. It's not just about flirtation or casual attraction. It's about deep, unspoken feelings that a woman might not even fully understand herself. And when a married woman starts developing that attachment, she's stepping into dangerous emotional territory, a space where logic and emotion start to clash. Most of the time, she won't admit it outright. Not to you, not to herself, and definitely not to the world. Instead, her emotions will leak out in small, seemingly insignificant ways: the way she lingers around you, how she reacts to other women in your life, the deep conversation she shares with you that she wouldn't with anyone else. These are the signs that she feels something more. Why these signs matter: when a woman is secretly attached to you, her emotions work against her better judgment. She might have told herself that she would never cross an emotional boundary, that she would keep things friendly and casual. But the heart doesn't always follow the rules. She remembers small details about you, not just facts, but the little things that matter. Her body language betrays her feelings, even when her words don't. She starts craving your presence, even if she can't explain why she gets jealous, even when she has no right to be. At first, these signs might seem small, but over time they build up, and when you start recognizing them for what they are, you'll see just how deep her feelings run. What you should do with this knowledge: recognizing these signs gives you power, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that allows you to navigate the situation with clarity. If you feel the same way, you now understand the depth of her emotions and how complicated things might become if you don't feel the same way. Knowing these signs can help you create boundaries before emotions escalate further. Either way, one thing is clear: emotional attachment is never just a coincidence. A woman doesn't become emotionally drawn to a man by accident. There's something about you, your presence, your energy, the way you make her feel, that's keeping her hooked in ways she might not even realize. And once you understand that, you'll never look at these interactions the same way again.